So we'll continue with theory and methods. Today we want to talk about how different theories on conflict and consensus create alternative sociological perspectives. So basically what we're talking about is this. They are structuralist, they are interpretivist, but there are other perspectives that links or that divine or that talks about how the society is and what makes the society what it is. It's not just about structuralist and interpretivist. So we have other views of people. So other views of these sociologists are what we call perspective. Do you get what perspective is here? So these are ways of viewing social life from different point of view. So these are structuralists. They believe that the society pulls the strings. Interpretivists, they believe that individuals pull the strings. That's all about them. But here we're talking about other sociologists who talked about how the society is. Do you get it? That's their own perspective. So we're going to start. So here I go. The difference between perspective in sociology is the extent to which they emphasizes on consensus and conflict. So when we check structuralists and interpretivists, for interpretivists, they don't even talk about conflict or consensus because their focus or their interest is in the micro. Yeah. So when you talk about conflict and consensus, it does not concern them. You get to know as soon as we continue this lesson. But for structuralists, they spoke, they talked, they emphasizes on conflict and consensus. Do you understand?
Yes.
But when we look at it, how it is, because the society, we're talking about the society here. So the society, there are ups and downs in the society. So that means there's disagreement, there's agreement in the society. So, but the only difference between other perspectives and structuralists is that for structuralists, they based their argument on theory and methods, which is basically scientific.
Yes.
Unlike other sociologists who have to go through the physical aspect of it to the field. So we start. So for conflicts, so what is consensus now? We start with consensus. So here I wrote consensus, social consensus. This is when people generally share views without major disagreement between them. So that means we share opinion, we share views without arguing, without disagreeing on whatever we share. But we have to put into consideration that for consensus to occur, for people to have consensus, it means it means either we have similar wealth, we have similar power, or we have similar status.
Mindset.
Or what?
Mindset. Like similar mindset.
No, similar means we have the same wealth, we have the same status, and we have the same power. That is where we won't argue.
Yes.
But when you have more than I do, then we might argue. Do you get the point here? So there's always consensus in the society. If the group in those societies, they have similar wealth, power, or and status. So if they have the same wealth, the same power, the same status, they won't argue. Or
what's status?
Status means your position.
Yes.
Who you are, what the respect they give to you, your reputation, the kind of person you are in the society. So if we are in the same level, there's no problems. Do you get the point here? There's no problem. Or if we agree that certain group in the society could have that power, could have that status, could have that wealth. Do you see these two things? They are not the same, but it brings about consensus. So consensus is about having the same power, the same status, or the same wealth. Or we agree that certain group of people in the society will have this kind of power they have, will have this kind of status they have, will have this kind of wealth they have.
So eventually that they don't have it, but they know that that group agrees.
They agree. We agree that you can have it. Yes. That is only when consensus will occur in the society. Is consensus clear?
Yes.
Great. Then that takes us to, so I wrote, a society built on consensus will be stable and harmonious. That means people will come together, they'll be happy living together. That's the point. So the values that are shared may be based on maybe politics. They will have agreement on politics, they will have agreement on religion, they will have agreement on political ideas. So because there's consensus. So we agree that you should rule us. We agree that whatever wealth you have, you deserve it. We agree. That is consensus.
Yes.
Is it clear?
Yes.
Then we go to conflict. For social conflict, this occurs when major disagreement arise about important issues, such as wealth, status, and power. So basically, there's conflict in the society because there's disagreement regarding conflict. There's disagreement regarding wealth, regarding status, regarding politics and power. So these are the reasons why we have conflict in the society, because we never agreed on it.
Mhm.
I think that is clear.
Yes.
So
They will,
so for conflict, a society that is based on conflict will not be stable. That is the point. And that means one group might be ruling over for a long period of time. That is what instability will bring about. That is what conflict will bring about. Because at the end of it all, the most powerful in that group will rule until another powerful one comes and take over.
That's all conflict.
That is conflict. Do you get what I'm talking about here? A society built or based on conflict will not be stable. And it will mean that certain group that is so powerful will continue to rule until another group that is more powerful than that group rules. There's no consensus, there's no agreement, there's no share of ideas.
Consensus is about groups agreeing.
Agreeing.
Okay, I thought it was for like individuals. It's
Groups, individuals are made up of groups.
yes. So,
The combination of individuals make a group.
so conflict is not agreeing, like
They do not agree on wealth, power, and status.
Yes.
I think it's clear.
Yes.
Now, this means that there are some, okay, so that's about consensus and conflicts. So I wrote, however, since interpretivists are only interested. So basically, we talked about it before. I said interpretivists, they don't have interest in whatever happens with society. Their interest is in the individual. So conflict or consensus does not concern them. That is what I wrote here. Do you get it? But most of the time, interpretivists are criticized. Why are they criticized? They are criticized because people feel they don't see the bigger version of what happens in the society. You can't just focus on individuals. Okay. They are supposed to also check about the society. So leaving the society and focusing on the individual makes you not to have awareness about what happens in the society. So you are so focused on one aspect, leaving the other variable, which is not fine. So that's the criticism about interpretivists. Mm-hmm. I think that is clear. Yes. So because you are talking about consensus and conflict, we need to talk about consensus. And when we talk about consensus, the main sociological perspective of consensus is functionalism. The main sociological perspective of consensus is about functionalism. Why? So here I wrote about functionalism. I wrote, it is a sociological perspective based on the belief that all aspects of the society serve a purpose, which is important for the long-term survival of the society. So for functionalism, it is a sociological perspective that believes that each institution in the society has a role to perform, has a role to play for the long-term survival of the society. Because if the society is able to survive, it means there's consensus in the society. Do you get it? So each individual, each institution must perform their role to make the society function. So a functioning society is a society that is that will have consensus, that is stable. Do you get the point there? Yes. So functionalists believe that for functionalists, they believe that if each institution performs their roles, the society will be a better place. So what are those things that they do say? For example, the function of the school is to give young people the skills needed to work, which help the economy. Look at what they say about school now. They believe that it is a function of the school to give students skills that would help them to work in the society. So you see, they will be able to help the society if they are skilled. And these skills must come from the school. So the school must perform their function of giving skills to students to be able to perform well in the society. Yes. That is this is how functionalists, this is how they operate and what they believe on. The second point, the function of the families is to socialize children into norms of the society and the norms and values of the society. So for functionalists, they believe that primary socialization comes from the family. So it is the family. Most of the time we say, in Africa, they used to say, or even Nigeria, they say, charity begins at home. So being a good boy or being a good girl starts from your family. So if you are being trained well at home, you will behave well in school, you will behave well in the society. So that's how functionalists sees the family, that it's the role of the family to ensure that the kids or the children are taught the values and the norms of the society. Because if they are taught the values and norms of the society, they will behave, they will understand how the society works.
Yes.
How the society works.
So
Is
it
it
all
clear?
begins with them.
The function.
Yes.
And the third one I wrote is the function of prisons. Prisons, right? The function of prisons is to remove temporarily from society people who do not keep laws. As a result, they upset the smooth running of the society. So functionalists believe that the prison is not just a permanent place to keep people, but you just have to take them away from the society because they are causing interference in the society. Until they understand the importance of being in the society, do not return them. Do you understand? So the prison must perform its role to make the society also a better place. This is about functionalists. Is it clear?
Yes.
All right. So we go to Marxism now. Are you there? For Marxism is a key conflict theory that believes capitalist society is based on inequalities between the capitalist class and the working class. So for Marxism, or for Marxists, they believe that the society, it's a conflict theory though.
Okay.
Marxists, their focus is on conflict. Yeah. And they believe there's conflict in the society because there's inequality in the society. And how does this inequality come into place? Inequality arises as a result of the capitalist taking over everything and leaving nothing for the working class. Do you get it? As a result of that, the working class, when they are being pushed to the wall, they have to face back and face their oppressors. And that is why conflict occurs in the society. Mm-hmm. Do you get the point there? Yes. So for Marxists focus on the conflict aspect of the society, while functionalists focus on consensus. That's the difference between Marxists and functionalists. Functionalists, they have the same mindset that the society should be a better place. But for Marxists, their focus is basically on conflict. Yes. For functionalists, their focus is on how to make the society harmonious. I think it's clear. Yes. So for Marxists, instead of them to talk about schools, giving skills to children to make them a better person in the society, they said schools ensure that some people fail and that they think this is their fault so that they can accept a low position in society. Look at the first thing they talked about school. Marxists, they believe that school will fail students. School will fail a lot of people to make them to be part of the lower class or the working class. So school will pass some students and fail others who belong to the working class so that they can continue the trend of being working class. They don't want them to move up the ladder from working class to the capital class. Do you understand? So what they are saying in essence is this: school will put you into that class you belong. So school will not allow the working class to be the ruling class. Yes. Do you see what Marxists are saying here? Mm-hmm. So just imagine when a Marxist says that to the society, people will like, wow, so this is what happens in the society. Yes. Then conflict begins.
So that's how conflict begins.
You get it? Because their focus is, oh, your child failed. Yeah, you are a working class, right? Yes, your child will fail because the ruling class do not want your child to succeed, because if your child succeeds, you will be able to get a bigger job, a better job that will make him to move ahead in the ladder to become one of the ruling class or the upper class. Yes. So school will not allow the working class to be the ruling class. Do you get the point?
Yes.
Another point they made is about mass media. So they said mass media distracts people from what is happening in the society. They start talking about celebrities. They start talking about lifestyle. They start talking about sports. So everything about the world is sport, lifestyle, celebrities, the life of celebrities. So we forget about the sovereign. We forget about how we are not getting what we are supposed to get. We forget about talking about inequalities in the society because we are carried away with lifestyles of celebrities. We are carried away with sports. This is how Marxists they think. Do you get the point?
Yes.
This happens a lot, even in Nigeria. Sometimes when there are issues about economy, about how things are not working fine, there will just be some celebrities, things will gossip about celebrities, then that takes over. Then people don't talk about their sufferings anymore. They shift the focus from talking about economic issues to talking about lifestyles of people that doesn't matter to the economy. Did you get it?
Mhm.
So Marxism is more than just sociological perspective. I told you, Marxism is not just about sociology. Marxism is about politics. Marxism is about economy.
Yeah.
Do you understand? Marxism is about history. So it's not just a sociological perspective. Do you get the point there? So then Marxism is named after Karl Marx. And Karl Marx is between 1818 to 1883. That's about Marxism. So Marxism is about creating a new. So for Marxists, they believe that for the society to function, there is need to create new societies with equality.
New societies.
With equality. That this new society should be created with equality.
Okay.
So what is the criticism about Marxism? There's criticism. The criticism about Marxism is that people believe that there's no way equality will occur in the society. There's no way there's going to be equality. It's not going to be achieved. But because we continue to fight for equality, because we continue to try to attain equality, we'll continue to fight. So people are fighting, people are in conflict, people are in disagreement because they want equality. But equality is not going to be achieved. Will never be achieved. That is the criticism about Marxism. Is it clear?
So it's like fighting for nothing.
Fighting for nothing, thank you. Do you get it? Fighting for what is not going to be attainable.
Mhm.
Is it clear?
Yes.
Then we go to feminism. Are you there?
Yes.
For feminism, this refers to the belief that women and men should have equal opportunities in economic, in politics, and social life. That is about feminism. So for feminists, they argue that society is patriarchal, that the society is controlled by men. So men are always on the aim of affair in politics. Family is the head of the family is the man, and everything about the society is all about men. That means that the society is patriarchal. We call it patriarchy, a society that is ruled by men. So
It's called what?
patriarchy, yeah, patriarchy.
It's like a hierarchy, no?
No, patriarchy,
Patriarchy,
yeah.
okay.
Okay. So what is the criticism about this? The criticism is that they see feminists as anti-men. They are seen as anti-men, that they are always against men. That is the criticism about feminists. So we have two types of feminists. We have the liberal feminists and we have the radical feminists. For the liberal feminists, they believe in coming together to talk about is creating new laws to put men and women into equal.
Okay.
That's liberal. But for the radical feminists, they believe that there's need for radical changes in the society, a quick change in the society. They want force. They want it to happen with force.
So one is mature and one is immature.
Well, you could say that, but this is their belief. They are radical. They believe that they have to pressurize things. They have to pressurize people. They have to pressurize government to make things happen.
Mhm.
But for the liberal, they believe that when new laws comes into place, the society little by little will become equal in terms of feminine or women and men. Is it clear?
Yes.
So that ends consensus and conflict.
Feminism, sociology, opposites. Socialist, feminist.
Where? I didn't talk about them.
Yeah.
But for socialist feminists, let me just say